What's up, everybody? It's your boy Max Power here with Max Power Reviews. I'm here to review the 2020 Royal Rumble. I got a lot I want to say today, and before I get started, I want to let you all know that this review is going to be more main card esque. I'm not going to be reviewing about the pre show or the kickoff show. I didn't really watch it, have no desire to. It's actually kind of shocking that I actually watched this pay per view to begin with because I work a lot, don't have a lot of time to myself anymore, working so much, and dedicating 4, potentially 5 hours of time to WWE is kind of difficult for me to do these days. Forgive me, but you probably get why if you're not a WWE apologist. But I watched it nonetheless, and this is going to be very shocking to you all, but I actually really enjoyed it. Um, I got a lot to talk about on it. Most of it's going to be for the men's Royal Rumble. I want to talk about the women's Royal Rumble, and I had a lot of notes on that match because I thought it was going to go good. It was going good until we got to the point where we realized who was going to win, and then it became very unforgettable. But anyway, if you notice, I got music playing in the background. It's just something to kind of help me stay focused in the wrestling mindset. I have some notes I gotta look over during this. There may be some cuts while I'm thinking over what I'm gonna say next. So bear with me as I work through this process before I actually get real equipment for this channel. But thank you all for watching. To all of you that are watching. Um, how appropriate, Brock Lesnar's music playing in the background. Um, so I guess before I get started, I just wanted to share something with you on my opinions on the Royal Rumble. I talked about how I really am glad that I watched it. It's because I enjoyed it. That show had every emotion that you can possibly feel in it. Some of them were all in the same match. Like there was moments that I couldn't stand the sight of the television. I was looking at my clock, looking at my watch to see what time it was because I wanted it to be over. I didn't want to be rude and leave my friend's house, but I wanted to leave. There was other times that I'm just like, oh man, this is actually really good. I can't wait to see what happens next, which I don't happen much in WWE these days. There was times that I was so like angry at the situation and burials and squashes and stuff, things like that in the show that I didn't want to watch it. There was other times that I had tears of happiness. There was times that I was waving my fist in the air in anger. There was times I was clapping and applauding for the show that I just watched. Some of that was all in one match. Guys, that's what this is all about. That is what pro wrestling is about. Having all those emotions. When people ask me, Chad, why do you keep watching it if you're so angry at it and you don't enjoy it these days? Like, why do you still watch it? I watch it with just the little simmer of hope that a show like a show like Sunday's Royal Rumble brought me, and the emotions it made me feel, the roller coaster ride it made me feel. I've watched that pay-per-view 3 times. The first as it aired live, and I've watched it 2 other times. And I've enjoyed every one of them just as much as I did the last. Like, that is what professional wrestling is about. That is the stuff that makes me proud to be watching it. I want more of that. Now, I have a guard up, a humongous guard, like not expecting what happens next to actually be good. I mean, Monday Night Raw is pretty solid, but I have a huge guard up so I don't get hurt when it all blows up in my face. But I have just that little simmer of hope again, and that's nice to feel. I can't wait to see what happens on SmackDown Friday. I can't wait to see what the Edge and Orton thing leads to next Monday. Like, that's what this is all about. And I am so happy that I watched it and I got the chance to enjoy it. I haven't enjoyed a WWE show at least, and I don't even remember the last time I enjoyed one that much. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the review. Let me see what it looks like without this light on because it keeps kind of hitting you there. All right, I hope that's a little better. Um, Again, I don't have much to say about the matches outside of the men's Royal Rumble. I took loads of notes on the men's Royal Rumble, but first match we had Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin in a no holds barred match. Who cares? Apparently, the only reason that they did the no holds bar match and added a gimmick to their match was because if they didn't, everyone would have left the arena and used that as a pee break, and the show just started. But I mean, it was very slow paced. There wasn't a lot exciting that happened to it. Now I will say there were some beautiful, beautiful shots on the camera of the ballpark, like the ending scene with Roman posing on the freaking dugout and stuff. That was gorgeous and well done to whoever was involved in that production. Good job. That was nice. But the match itself, lackluster. The ending, Roman delivered a absolutely awful spear with zero impact. King Corbin takes the pin. 1, 2, 3. Your winner's Roman Reigns. The one good thing about Roman winning, and I will say I was actually rooting for him to win, not because I hate Baron more than Roman, because that's not accurate. But the good thing from it is because of coming from a WWE logical style of booking, if Roman would have lost that match to Baron, odds are Roman would have won the Royal Rumble that night. WWE logic, 50-50 booking. So when he took the pin and Roman won, I was actually very pleased. And I knew there was still a huge chance that Roman's going to win that, and I actually really felt like he might. But I felt like that really knocked down the percentages on the chances that he would win it, or at least helped work in our favor for once. But anyway, Roman wins that one. They end up doing a graphic, and they talk about Kobe Bryant. Not a lot I could say about that. You know, I didn't think it was real when I got the phone call from my mother telling me about it. Thought it was a joke, but I wish it was a joke. Sadly, it wasn't. He died way too young. I wasn't a huge basketball fan, but the little interest I did have in it and the seasons that I did watch, it was for Kobe. Kobe was my guy. That's who I followed. That was always my favorite. When everybody's favorite was Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, around that time, when he was same time frame Kobe was there. Kobe was my dude. I always picked Kobe, so I'm devastated that happened. Rest in peace, man. You died way too soon. Hope your friends and family, God bless y'all, bless your family and all you going through this, and rest in peace to your 13-year-old daughter, man. No parent should have to bury their kid, man, especially that young. That's brutal, and that's about it. All I can say on that, guys. But transitioning over back to the show review, the Women's Royal Rumble match. I had a lot I wanted to say about this one, guys, and I just threw the notes out because I only want to talk about it, really. The match itself could have went down as one of the best Women's Royal Rumble to date, maybe ever, at that, how good it went. There was points at it that I totally even forgot that. I don't even really want to say that. I was going to say that it was women in the match, and I don't mean it in any kind of hate weight. I mean just they don't have as much intensity on getting eliminated and stuff because they have to be more careful because they're more fragile. And that's not a knock at women. Please don't think that. I just mean I don't know how to word it other than I kind of put my foot in my mouth in there, didn't I? I didn't mean to do that. But I mean, there was times I didn't realize that was a Women's Royal Rumble match, and I thought it was a Men's Royal Rumble match. They were outperforming the men. It was good. There were some surprises. Beth Phoenix, Naomi came back. Bianca Belair was actually, without doubt, the MVP, the Iron Man in that match. She eliminated 8 in the match, which broke the record. Shayna Baszler came out number 30. The moment she came out, I was positive she was going to win it. She should have won it. She should have won it. That record I just told you about Bianca taking at 8 eliminations, Shayna did that in 30 seconds and tied her. Unfortunately, when it was all said and done, the final 3 was Shayna Baszler, Beth Phoenix, which is super cool. Beth Phoenix took a bump on the turnbuckle earlier in that match, 20 minutes prior, and she was busted up and all on her back head, and she beasted through that match to the final 3. My respect, Miss Phoenix. My respect for that. But final 3 was Phoenix, Shayna Baszler, Charlotte. Baszler gets Phoenix out, and kind of a cool spot. She had her hooked in her, kind of Samoan submission machine finisher, chokehold, coquina clutch. Forgot the word for a second. Coquina clutch. Forgot the move. Had Phoenix hooked outside of the ropes and put her butt to sleep and dropped her. So final 2, Baszler, Charlotte. I got a little nervous, but I was still okay. Charlotte ain't gonna win this. It's got to be Baszler. They're not gonna do Charlotte and Becky again, are they? Apparently so, because Charlotte won it, and there was absolutely no reason that she should have won it. If I keep talking about this, I'll probably get angry because that could have pushed anybody to the next level. That should have been Baszler's. It should have happened, but the only positive out of this whole thing, and there is a positive to it, believe it or not, is the fact that Charlotte's going to go down as the greatest women's wrestler of all time because of her accolades by default. So, adding a Royal Rumble victory to her resume just helps that, and it was only a matter of time before it would happen. So I highly suspect she's going to win the Women's Money in the Bank match next year, or maybe even this year, potentially, if she don't have the title. It's just something to add to her resume because she's a Flair, and Vince wants to add that. I get it. I didn't agree with it being being Sunday night's Rumble, but it's fine. It's over. It's done. We may not have to go through it again. Could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not, but the good news is out of this whole thing is it raises the chances of her winning another Royal Rumble really down. Because there's only very few people, men, no women because they've only been doing it for a couple years, but there's only a few men that have multiple Royal Rumble victories. So this is a good thing. Just stinks right now really bad, but it is a good thing. So at least that's over. Alright, so next up we have the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship on the line against Lacey Evans, who's apparently a babyface now, playing the American Hero gimmick, which I guess I'm okay with Marine background stuff that I knew way before they even put it out on WWE TV. But not much to say about the match whatsoever. It went about 10 minutes, and Lacey didn't really look like she was even in the same league as Bayley. Nothing to really say about it other than Bayley's still your champion. Next match, we got The Fiend and WWE Champion Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan in a strap match. When I first saw this, I thought this was going to be an absolute crap show of a match because there's only so much room they can move and everything, but boy was I wrong. This was a great match, guys. Absolute great match. Of course, Bray comes out with his beast mask and beast little lantern with his face on it and his cool custom belt around his neck, like wearing it like a freaking collar. Beautiful, man. They didn't use the red lights in this match. That's great. I read online that Daniel Bryan absolutely hated those red lights, and it was so hard for him to have a match like that. So I'm glad they didn't do it. I don't think it's a long-term thing at all. I think they'll keep doing it. The only reason they didn't is because maybe they couldn't get the place to look right in that baseball stadium, which having the Rumble in the baseball stadium, by the way, is awesome. But Daniel Bryan took some absolute vicious shots with these straps. Like 2 minutes in the match, he already had like bruises showing on his back, imprints from the strap, and Wyatt had to hit him almost 100 freaking times with that thing. So I wonder if there's a picture out there of Daniel Bryan after the match and the day after, showing his back and everything, because that'd be sick. But anyway, Bray Wyatt ends up winning this match with the mandible claw. It went on about... Let me look at my notes here. Let me see if it tells me the time. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. Bray Wyatt wins, though. I'd say it was almost a 20-minute match, and it was a very well-done 20-minute match, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Glad it took place. This storyline should be done now. Daniel Bryan can move on to something else, and Bray Wyatt can sadly move on to Roman Reigns at Mania. Next match, we had the Raw Women's title, Asuka versus Becky Lynch. The story behind this match was that Asuka had Becky's number. The video package they showed in the beginning of this was absolutely brilliant. Like, I was invested. I was absolutely invested. It was a good little match. Becky wins by... hold on a second. Ooh! Oh! Bella! Okay, sorry. We had a little dog break there. Enzo decided he wanted to tell me that there's a trash man outside getting the dumpster. Moving back to where we were before we were so rudely interrupted. The match ends with Asuka getting ready to shoot or miss out of her mouth to blind Becky, which has been the story of the whole thing. And Becky almost hits the ref. She avoids it. As she turns around, she catches wind of what Asuka's getting ready to do. Kicks her like in the shin or gut area. Makes Asuka shoot up while spitting the mist, getting it all in her own eyes. Asuka pops the disarmor on her. Becky puts the disarmor on Asuka. Tap out. Becky retains the title and moves on to probably Charlotte Flair. Hopefully Shayna Baszler in some way, shape, or form, which that only leads us with Bayley and Charlotte, which they just did that for almost half the summer, so I don't know where we're going here. I read online there's a potential chance that Charlotte challenges Rhea Ripley for the NXT women's title, which that would be intriguing, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, so moving on, I didn't realize that going through all this right here itself would take almost 20 minutes, so about 20 minutes, so I'm going to kind of fly through the men's Royal Rumble thing and just go over some notes. I don't want to make this too long because right now, without having the proper equipment and everything, a lot of people ain't going to tune in for this long to listen to me talk, so I'll make it as quick as possible here, but this is the part you're going to want to listen to, I assure you. We're moving on to the men's Royal Rumble match. Winner gets a main event title shot of his choosing at WrestleMania. Number one was, of course, Brock Lesnar. I was a little confused about this in regards to what this means, because what happens if he wins? Does he challenge the Fiend for the title, or does he not get a title shot? But that's kind of what made the match intriguing. The first 15 people got squashed by him, we'll just say that. It was, person comes down, first was Elias. Elias just absolutely did nothing. He came out and sang one of his crappy songs. He's not a babyface. He's not over as a babyface. Turn him heel again. He comes out, sings a song, gets in the ring. Suplex, elimination. Next up, Eric Rowan coming out with his little cage. He comes out, gets a shot in on Lesnar. Lesnar misses. He misses with the second shot. Lesnar catches him, throws him over the ropes. Next up, Robert Roode. Roode comes out, nails him a couple times. Lesnar picks him up, F5 elimination. Next up, we got the returning John Morrison, who comes out, gets in the ring for all of 9 seconds. Lesnar throws him out. Next up, we had Kofi Kingston, the former champion that he actually won the title from. He came out. Kofi put up the most fight with Lesnar up until that point. He actually made it till the next person that came out, which was surprising, which was Rey Mysterio, who was actually a former Royal Rumble winner. They both teamed up on Lesnar. Lesnar got the upper hand. They leave the ring, but they don't go over the rope. They go under. Next up, we have Big E showing up in the match. And Big E formed an alliance with his tag team partner and WWE Tag Champion partner, Kofi, and Rey Mysterio to work together to get Lesnar. They get in the ring. They jump Lesnar. Big E pops the big ending on him. Before that, Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise. Then Big E hit the big ending, which led to a 619. Big E gets down on all fours as like a bridge for Kofi to jump on him. Lesnar goes for the jump, Rey Mysterio goes for the jump. Brock catches him, throws him over the ropes, jumps over the bridge Big E was making for him to clothesline the heck out of Kofi, and then turns around and F5s Big E, throws him out of the ring, grabs Kofi, F5s him out of the ring. We're no one left in the ring but Lesnar. Next up, we have Cesaro. He came out and hit him with about 10 European uppercuts. Lesnar gets a hold of him, suplex out of the ring. Next up, we got Shelton Benjamin, who comes out smiling, and Lesnar smiling. Paul Heyman ends up hugging Shelton Benjamin, saying something along the lines of, "I love you, I'm proud of you, now go reunite with Brock Lesnar." They get in the ring, Lesnar embraces them, they hug each other, they have a good time, they act like they're going to be a team to take on each other, take on the opponents and help Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, which would have been a neat concept for a few eliminations at least, few more numbers. Lesnar blindsides him, suplex, he's out of the ring. Next up comes the returning MVP, which that surprise entrant was absolutely botched because someone caught them playing it on the big screen, the letters MVP and his music playing. They snapped a picture of it, broke the news online, so it wasn't a big surprise. But he came out doing his little bad walk, you know. Lesnar actually at one point was in the ring dancing along with it. I laugh out loud, I'm not gonna lie. He gives his gold chain to Michael Cole. He starts chasing Heyman. Lesnar catches him. I believe MVP got a couple punches in on him. Lesnar suplex. F5 out of the match. Lesnar almost dropped him on that F5. You could tell his legs were giving out from that. He was exhausted at this point. He wasn't used to having this much of a match time. What's bad about it is he wasn't doing anything for at least 45 seconds of every 90-second participant. So moving on, next up was Keith Lee, which actually was a big chance he might win it. He was a highly favored, one of the favorites to win it. He comes out, the place pops. Him and Brock have a stare down. It got intense. Lee actually knocked him down, and the crowd blew up. Lesnar got a little advantage on him and everything. They both end up closing line each other down. Then Braun Strowman comes out. Everybody goes crazy, actually thinking he would have a shot to do anything that means anything. Because we all know you can't fool your boy here, because anything that actually matters in WWE, when titles and title matches are on the line, your boy, y'all get these hands. Strowman can't win. So I knew he wouldn't last long. He ended up wrestling around and fighting with Keith Lee. He knocks him under the ring rope. He does his little charge thing outside the ring, missed it horribly. Gets in the ring, starts fighting Lesnar. Lesnar gets the upper hand on him, but Lesnar also falls down at the same time. Keith Lee and Strowman meet in the ring and start fighting after a stare-off. Lesnar catches both of them as they're by the ropes, eliminates them. So now, next up, we get Ricochet, who comes out, and Lesnar manhandles him like to a pulp, bro. Like, manhandles him, but doesn't get him eliminated, which leads to Drew McIntyre coming out, who was my pick to win it, might I add. Not my realistic pick. I was certain that Roman was going to win it, but my want pick was McIntyre. He looked intense. He looked hyped. He looked ready. This was his night to shine, baby. He comes into the ring, has a stare-off with Lesnar, has some words with him, saying things like, "This is my time. My time. You're not stealing this from me. You want to fight? Let's fight. Let's go." Lesnar takes off the gloves. Him and Drew go to tangle up to have the anticipated fight that we just got built up for. Ricochet from behind. Bam! Kick to the groin. Low blow. Lesnar's down, like, hanging there. Claymore kick from Drew over the top rope. Drew McIntyre eliminated the Beast Incarnate. Brock Lesnar, during that time, he was in that match, eliminated 13 people. The first 13 people. He eliminated 13 people, folks. He squashed the entire roster, and we'll get on that here in a minute. There's a good side to this and a bad side. I'll get to the good side first, actually. It makes more sense. It's quicker. The good thing from it is this built, like, anticipation to, if someone does eliminate him, it'd be a big moment. A moment that makes a superstar. And it so happens the superstar made was, spoiler alert, the one that actually won it. The pop that Drew got when he eliminated him, he was a made man. He's a made man for his career if he's booked right. Tread lightly on wishing that, wishful thinking, right? But the pop he got made that first 13 minutes of that, or 13, 14 superstars that came out first, worth the squash that just made me sick to my stomach that the whole roster was getting squashed like that. It made sense. It made him look like gold once it was done. After he got eliminated and that point on, it was one of the best Royal Rumble matches I ever saw. But I want to go over this with you real quick. These are the first 14 or so people that 13 people he eliminated, and their accolades in WWE. This is only WWE, some of them NXT. First up, Elias, 4-time 24/7 champ. Who cares, right? So that one I ain't worried about. Eric Rowan, 1-time NXT champ, 2-time WWE tag champ. Robert Roode, NXT champ, 2-time tag champ. One-time USA champ or US champ, and one-time 24/7 champ. Who cares? John Morrison, one-time ECW champ, three-time IC champ, five-time tag. Kofi Kingston, one-time WWE champ, four-time IC, three-time US, nine-time tag champ, and also the longest tag team championship run in the history of the business. Rey Mysterio was actually a 2006 Royal Rumble winner, and he is the longest lasting person in a Royal Rumble appearance, in one Royal Rumble appearance. Three-time world champ, three-time cruiserweight champ, two-time IC, four-time tag, two US. Big E has been an NXT champ, one-time IC champ, seven-time tag champ. Cesaro, one-time US, six-time tag, an Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner, the inaugural one. Shelton Benjamin, three-time IC, two-time tag, one-time US champ. I don't believe that's correct, that US one. Maybe. I'll have to look that one up. Shinsuke Nakamura, first ever two-time NXT champ. Won the 2008 Royal Rumble. One time and your current Intercontinental Champion that you squashed. And two-time US champ. Last few. MVP, one-time tag champ, two-time US champ. Keith Lee, current NXT North American champ. Braun Strowman, greatest Royal Rumble winner. Who cares? And the most eliminations in a Royal Rumble with 13, who Lesnar tied tonight. I don't really count that Royal Rumble, but just for argument's sake, it is on this list. Two-time tag champ, the 2018 Money in the Bank winner. And then, so in total, this leads to, out of all the championship runs that these 13 guys had, just listen to this, guys. I kid you not. This is real stuff. This is what he squashed. Five-time 24/7 champ. Who cares? Four NXT champion runs. The current and one North American title. 11 United States championship reigns. IC championship reigns 14. 6 world championship reigns in that. 2 previous Royal Rumble winners. 4 if you consider the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and the Greatest Royal Rumble. You choose however you want to view that. And the last one, I kid you not, this is accurate. Look it up yourself. 40 tag team title reigns. That's what he squashed, people. That's what he squashed. Like nothing. Who did that benefit? Who did that benefit other than him and Drew for eliminating him? But Drew had to get a low blow in him and a Claymore kick to get him out of there. Yeah, he got him. It was a big moment, made everybody happy, but who did it really benefit other than Brock Lesnar? Nobody's going to remember this Royal Rumble because Drew won. Spoiler alert. They're going to remember Brock squashing half the roster, and that's the part that ticks me off. But now it's time to talk about the part that made me happy. Number 21. You think you know me? That guy. Yeah, he returned. It was an amazing moment. Had me legit fooled. I've been following for over a month this guy. Every move he makes, I knew about it because I wanted to see if he'd be in the Rumble. Caught me totally off guard when I heard You Think You Know Me on there. Pop on the radio. On the speaker, excuse me. It absolutely shocked me. I don't even remember what I was talking about when he came out. I was talking to my buddy who I was watching with. And the moment it was like 3, 2, 1, and you hear You Think You Know Me, I legit wholly out loud and just staring. My head tilted at the TV. Like, no way. And might I say, he was in the best physical shape I've ever seen him in. And that dude busted his butt to get back to that moment. When the camera shot in on him for the pyro shot, the look in his eyes was one of the most realest things I've ever seen in the history of wrestling. I will never, ever forget that moment. And those are the moments that you watch this for, man. Those are the moments that you sit there and embrace and wait for, and when they happen, you go back and relive it hundreds of times on YouTube. I've already done it dozens, hoping you can just get a small taste of what you felt the night that you were there watching it happen, even if it's just on your TV, but you can never even come close to reciprocating it. But you try all the time to relive it in your mind, watching it on YouTube. You never can. That feeling, that rush, the never say never thing actually being legit is something that just cannot be explained unless you're a true wrestling fan. And it's something I'm dang proud of to be a part of. And I enjoyed that moment. I'll never forget it. He looked amazing in the Rumble. He did great. He made it to the final 3. It was amazing. But moving forward for this, not a whole lot that I can really remember to bring up in this match that went on. I mean, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I know WWE botched the spot where Edge did the first spear in the match to Dolph Ziggler. It ticked Ziggler off pretty bad on social media. He brought it up, but he missed it. That's all right. He got more in. AJ took it like a champ to make him look good, man, to make him look like $1 million. That's who I wished he was facing at Mania. Sadly, no, but I'm okay with Orton as well. What happened on Raw was amazing, but AJ hit that, took that spear like a champ. It's, from what I read, here we go again. Stop it. Sorry, God. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. Another doggy break. Interrupting me again, bro. Anyway, so AJ takes this spear from Edge like a champ. Sadly, ended up injuring him. He probably won't be able to make a WrestleMania. That really stinks, man. Get well soon, AJ. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of names in this whole thing I'm doing here, reviewing it, so I get them confused up a little bit. Sorry about that. But anyway, you get down to your final, what was it, 4? We had Randy Orton. We even had a Rated RKO tease during that match, which was super cool. Rated RKO. We had Edge, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, the big dog. Of course, he gets a good number in the Rumble again. And Drew McIntyre. Orton and McIntyre teamed up against Orton. McIntyre and Roman teamed up to face, team up on Edge and Orton. Orton and Edge got the upper hand on them. I guess that's because they had experience as a tag team. That's the story they're telling. I'm all right with that. Makes sense. So they had him down. They're kind of posing, and Orton makes a little move on Edge like he's going to RKO him, but Edge catches it. Orton's just like, sorry, man, my bad. You know how I am, whatever. So Orton goes to turn around. Edge grabs him, throws him over the top. Screams at him, I've waited 9 long years for this. You're not going to take it away from me. So our final 3, we got Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, the big dog, and Edge of all people. Fun fact here, people. Edge and his wife, Beth Phoenix, were the final 3. They were both in their respective Royal Rumble matches in the final 3 and went out third each. That's pretty cool. No one's talking about that. I don't know why. I noticed it right away. That's super cool. But anyway, so McIntyre's out for a little bit. He took a spear, I believe from Edge. So Edge and Roman are going at it, which was kind of cool to see how the announcers plugged that this is something you would see in 2K. You never thought we'd see it in real wrestling, like real life. So that was kind of cool. It was neat. They exchange some blows and everything. Both kind of go after each other with their spear because it's the battle of the spears, kind of cool. Edge ends up getting the better hand of Roman's spear. Roman recovers, gets Edge on the outside, along with Roman getting on the outside. He ends up causing Edge to lose his balance and grip on the ropes. Edge is out. Final 2, Roman Reigns, the big dog, versus Drew. I was 100% certain at this point that Roman was going to win it. I figured we had about another 5 to 10 minutes of action, but it didn't. It ended less than a minute later, which was kind of cool. Didn't really build as much anticipation and excitement, but I'm okay with it. Roman gets the upper hand, goes for a spear. He misses Drew. Drew nails him with a Claymore kick, picks him up, throws him out of the ring. Drew is the winner. I screamed like a schoolgirl. I was so excited. I'm so happy for him. He's worked his butt off to get back to where he is. He deserves this match. And I hope he goes over on Brock Lesnar and that takes him to that next level of his career. He deserves it. WWE picked a good choice, at least in one of the Royal Rumble matches, and it's going to benefit someone potentially. I also have a guard up with this because I thought the same exact thing when Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble in 2018, and it did absolutely nothing for him. And that's a dang shame. Some people may be like, well, he's won the U.S. title since then, and he's the current IC title. They gave him a brand new belt to wear, Oh, shut up. He's nothing. He's nothing. Your IC champ just got squashed by Lesnar, bro. Something I wanted to bring up about Edge is he is one of the best of all time, man. Like, statistically, this dude is. He's 11-time world champion, a WWE Hall of Famer, the Rated R Superstar Edge. That was absolutely awful. I just like doing that. Tony Chimmel's a beast. They need to bring him back just to do Edge's intro. But he's won a total, I have it written down here somewhere, 31 championships in total. That's Hall of Fame status for my books, He already is, but still. Something I wanted to end this with about people that ask why you hate Roman so much. Why are you so anti-Roman Reigns? Here's a stat for you, bro. Here's some stats for you. It's because he's rubbed down their freaking faces and throats all the time. Prime example, case in point, right here in my notes. Actual facts. Look it up if you don't believe it. Roman Reigns has been in 6 out of the last 7 Royal Rumbles. The one Royal Rumble he wasn't in was because he was out with leukemia. Let's see here. First year, he got the record with 12 eliminations. At that time, that was a record. He broke Kane's old record of 11. He ended up finishing, let's see. Brock broke that record tonight, by the way. So, as far as Royal Rumble eliminations goes, Brock owns a record with 13. Tied with Strowman because they unfortunately do include the Greatest Royal Rumble in that stat, which isn't fair because there's 50 people in it, opposed to this one being 30, but whatever. First year, let's see. First year, he had the 12 eliminations record he had, and second year, he won it. The third year was that title match gimmick, which was cool. He finished third. Fourth year, he finished second. Fifth year, he finished second. And last Sunday's Rumble, he finished second. So, it went second, first, third, second, second, second. And every one of those that he didn't win, everyone was certain he would. And would have been no shock if he did. That dude, and out of all those matches except last year's, he ended up being a key factor in the main events at WrestleMania. Last year he did the thing with Drew, so he didn't really have it, but I mean, dude shoved down our throats, guys. Like,